When my mom's brother came to the United States, he was in a great condition, healthy and happy. She invited him to our house to stay for a while because she wanted him to live the American dream. She wanted him to work and gather his money to have a better future. She believed that he would have a better life in the United States rather than Mexico. He was one of my favorite uncles. I remember when my brothers and I used to play with him. He got a job and he was finally working, but when he came home from work, he would act strangely. Something was going on with him. He started to hang out with bad influences. He would not come home right away. Mama would be very worried at night. Meanwhile, my grandparents in Mexico believed he was succeeding in life. My mom didn't have any idea what was going on with him, but she noticed a big difference. My mom didn't want to accept her brother's weird behavior. He was talking strange and wasn't making sense. I was a little girl, so I thought it was normal. My mom didn't know nothing about the drugs or the effect of drugs until things got worse. We finally had found out that he was doing strong drugs. It was a little too late when we realized that he had an addiction to drugs. My mom took him back to Mexico to try to keep him away from the drugs and the bad influences. My grandparents were devastated when they found out about the truth about their son. They didn't accept his ways. His own brothers will look at him differently. My mom felt that if it was her fault for his drug addiction, because he was supposed to take care of him. I know it wasn't her fault. She did the best she could. My mom just can't accept the idea that her brother is a drug addict instead of a successful person. It's so quick how someone could change from one day to another. It was his decision to do drugs and go down the wrong path. Nobody forces us to do anything in this world. We make our own choice. He later was put in a rehabilitation center. There wasn't any hope that he was going to get better. His health was really bad. My grandparents suffered a lot from him and my mom carried the guilt. On a Christmas break, we went to Mexico. I remember our family visited him at the rehabilitation center. It was Christmas Day, and I remember my grandmother walking towards him and hugging him, but he rejected her. I gave him a hug, and he hardly hugged me back. His face was pale, and there was no happiness in him. Everything changed. The addiction didn't only affect my uncle, but also us, the family. After taking so much medication, he was able to control himself. He was able to laugh and smile. His siblings would judge him because they thought he was crazy, but I didn't. I'd rather sit right next to him and converse. Make him smile and distract him with sports, games, and movies. Than him doing drugs again. Although it was very sad to know that my uncle was no longer going to be the same. I still loved him. I was very patient with him, and I actually listened to him because no one would. His own brothers would tell him to be quiet when he had something to say. My grandmother had accepted the fact that his son was different. My grandma still had faith that one day he will change, but most importantly, she gained it, her faith to continue her normal life and move forward because she couldn't do anything about her son anymore, but let God take care of him because drugs had already took over him, destroyed him, and even damaged the relationship with the family. I have learned to overcome my struggles with faith because when all your doors close, there's always one open. When you have hope and struggles in life are less painful with our faith. This experience has helped me to accept people for who they are and help them rather than judge them. This, I believe.